Hello, my friends. It is Mindy Audlin on this glorious What If Wednesday. I'm so glad that you could join me. This is our day of the week where it's hump day. So what better day to ride the energy of the week and take it to the next level, right? So what if we amp up our energy? So instead of being like, oh my gosh, it's Wednesday, we're like, oh my gosh, it's Wednesday. That's what we do is, what is the thought that you're thinking? What is the feeling that goes with it? And how can we use our imagination to shift the way we're thinking so that every moment of every day feels like it's brimming with possibility? So what if that's possible? How this works is every Wednesday in our Facebook group, howdy, howdy to those of you in our Facebook group. In our Facebook group, every Wednesday, I pop in and I say, what are you working on? And that's when you tell me, I've got a challenge, I've got a goal, I've got an intention, I've got this thing that's driving me crazy and I don't know what to do with it. You just post it in the community. And then every Wednesday, I pop on live and we do some brainstorming. And the cool thing is you can join me live. You can comment. You can what if up with me live, which is awesome. If you can't be here live, you can also do it in the archives, and it doesn't have to be me. So you can post something anytime, and we have this incredible community, over 1,000 people in there who can share possibilities and positive vibes, good thoughts, support for whatever it is that you are moving through. So I want to thank everybody who has already commented today for What If Wednesday to let me know what you're working on. And if you want to pop in something else that's new, I do have my trusty phone here. So hopefully I'm going to be able to see this streaming and engage with you live. That's the idea. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to jump in here so we get to see how it works. You put out there what you want, and then we throw out as many what if ideas as we can. Not just any what if ideas, not the what if ideas that say, well, what if it falls apart? And what if you can? What if it's impossible? We don't do those what ifs. Those are what if down ideas. We what if up into hope and possibility. What if anything was possible? What if it's just a matter of aligning our thoughts and our feelings and our actions with that desired outcome? So thank you for sharing that desired outcome that you are going for. I'm going to start with Eric. Eric, thanks for postings. Eric says, what if I succeeded well in my new business? So congratulations on starting a new business and the leap of faith that it takes to engage in a new enterprise. So we are celebrating you and celebrating the inevitable success of your business. What if you knew that the success of your business was inevitable? What if there is nothing but joy and anticipation and fun and enthusiasm for the business that you're building? What if anytime those doubts creep up, that thought that says, oh, what if I can't make the money? Or what if it doesn't work? Or what if I have the wrong target market? Whatever that stuff is. What if anytime you recognize one of those thoughts as they creep up, what if you just acknowledge them, say thanks for sharing, and then let them, send them out the building? You can now leave the building, because what I need in this space right now is hope and optimism, right? So when you're starting something new, it's one of those times, anytime you're in transition, it's one of those times where it's very easy for self-doubt to creep in. And one of the things that I know for sure is that there is nothing that will put more weight on a new business venture than self-doubt of the founder and the CEO. So what if you really own that fact that you are a capable and flexible and insightful and intuitive business owner? What if you lean into the experts? What if you study your program, your content, your structure? What if you reach out for help when you need it from professionals, organizations like SCORE, organizations like this, where you've got other entrepreneurs that can share ideas with you? What if you share with us what your business is? And what if we like it and support it and help get the word out about what you are creating? What if your business is not only a huge success financially, but what if it's a success in terms of fulfillment for you? What if you are able to take your gifts and bring them to the world in a way that brings incredible value to people? What if you truly are lighting up the world through the services and products that you choose to offer. So wishing you all the best, Eric, as you engage in your new business. And feel free at any time, if you have a flyer that you want us to look at, you can put it in the community and we can what if up it. If you've got a new offering and you're wanting to get some feedback on it, pop it in there and we'll share some what if ideas. This is not we don't do promotional posts. We don't say, hey, everybody go buy my new book, but you could say, hey, everybody, I've got a new website for my book. If anyone wants to go and share some ideas, some possibilities for it, I'm really open to brainstorming. So that's how it works. Isn't that fun? Yes, I am excited for you. And I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs in our community. So I thank you again for sharing that intention, because I know a lot of people are going to resonate with that, myself included. I get that little monkey brain sometimes when it's like, okay, is it working? Is it not working? And what if we knew it's working? If you're called to it, it's working. And what if we knew we could adapt, we could pivot, we can change? And what if sometimes it's the tiniest little tweak that suddenly opens the floodgates? What if this is your moment to open the floodgates for all that you have ever imagined and all that you have ever hoped your business could be? So wishing you all the best. Eric, all right, I'm going to move along because I've got several of these that you've been posting in the community, and I want to see who else is here as well. Let's see. All right, let's see. Ooh, okay, there are more coming in. I love this. So this one is from LeMay, LeMay, I see you there. I see you posting stuff. So LeMay says, thinking about where I would live if I chose not to pay $2,000 in rent. What if I lived in a van and worked remotely, providing telehealth therapy and traveling the USA? What if I downsized and couch surfed, all while connecting and reconnecting with friends? What if I lived in a camper or schoolie? What if I lived in a studio apartment, had less to do domestic chores, less chores to do, and spent time creating art? What if I shared my house and the rent payment with a friend? What if I moved in another home and shared rent with another person? What if me, she says. And then she said, well, what if I bought a small cottage in the country? What if I built a tiny home? You are on a roll, LeMay. This is how it works. Sometimes just like putting it out there, like this is what I want and these are some options. It gets that imagination rolling, builds some momentum. And what I find is that, if you've ever gone to a what if possibilities party and had people sitting around sharing ideas with you, what tends to happen is people will all the way home, like the ideas just keep coming and coming and coming. So one of the reasons to come to this What If Wednesday live stream every week and to watch it is to rev up your imagination and prime that pump so that the ideas that are there just waiting for you pop up at just the right time. So I want to start with LeMay. The first thing that you said, LeMay, thinking about where I would live if I chose not to pay $2,000 in rent. So first of all, in terms of languaging, I love that you said it's a choice. You can pay it, you cannot pay it. It is a choice. One thing I would look for when you are brainstorming is are you making this choice because you're looking for a better value or because you're feeling the itch for adventure? Or are you wanting to find an alternative because you're feeling the pain of that $2,000? Because it could be, what if there was a way that you could step into greater abundance and the $2,000 was nothing? So if you really love where you are, then I would say, maybe the first step is to look at like, what if there's a way to access the funds so that it's easy and effortless to afford living where you want to live? Now, I'm going to assume, because you had so many ideas for so many adventures and so many possibilities, I'm going to assume that you kind of have this idea that it would be fun to move. The idea that it is fun to move is very different than I have to move because I can't afford to be where I am. Do you feel the difference in the energy of that? So sometimes we talk about love in the creative cycle. Sometimes if you're creating because you don't love your current reality, then oftentimes the best place to begin is by reframing that current reality. What if you love where you are and you're looking for an adventure? What if driving across the country in a camper would be one of the coolest things you've ever done in your entire life? It's very different when you're brainstorming because it's something you want to do versus brainstorming because you feel stuck or you feel like you have no options where you are, right? So we want to play with that energy a little bit and make sure that you're coming from a place of joy and enthusiasm. And if you're not, and honestly, there are times when we're not. There are times when we're not joyful, enthusiastic about the changes we need to make. Sometimes the place to begin is actually with that situation that may seem insurmountable. What if there is no situation that is insurmountable? What if? What if there was a way you could stay where you are and love it and have it be easy? And what if you brought in a roommate and you end up being besties and it's the most fun you've ever had? What if you open your home and it becomes a commune for other artists? And what if by sharing your space and sharing your creative endeavors and creating a space where all artists can have a more affordable place to live and more access to supplies or shared resources? What if you create something that really is unique and special and a blessing not only to you, but to others? So, what if the things that feel like constriction and feel like challenges, what if those challenges are actually opening the door to an idea or possibility that not only excites you and opens up new opportunities, but it also serves people, serves the world in a really exciting way? So I throw that out there as a possibility. And of course, if you want adventure, what if you take to the road? What if you find some remote work that you can do, that you could travel the world in your schoolie or your van or your camper? What if you build that tiny house out in on the most beautiful piece of land you can imagine? What if you share your home and it becomes an artist community? What if you start a nonprofit for artists where you purchase a house, and what if it's a co-op where people buy into it and you share the space and share the expenses and share the food and make life easier because you're taking care of each other? What if this sparks something that is really innovative and fun and exciting? And what if it actually leads you to the fullest expression of your higher purpose? And what if this is your chance to live your dream? So that's what I would say. What if you start just by identifying, what is your dream life? Do you want to travel? Do you want to stay where you are? Do you want to try someplace new? What do you want? Not what do you need, but what do you want? And what if there's a way to get from where you are to where you want to be? Yes, yes, absolutely. So thank you for jumping in with that, LeMay. It's really great to connect with you. Long time What If Upper. I think we connected during COVID when everything went online. I met so many of you then, and I know life kind of brings us in and out and in and out, but it's great to see so many of us here reconnecting inside of our community. One more, two more. Okay. Next one is for Lily. What if I started a side hustle that really felt fulfilling? Have you noticed a theme today? So, Lily, yes, what if you start a side hustle that is absolutely everything you dreamed it would be? What if you make a list of all the things you'd love to do and you brainstorm ways that you could create additional income with just one of those? What if you go to your chat GPT or your AI tools, whatever that might be, and say, here's what I'd love to do. How can I make money with it? And what if you actually give it some parameters? I've done this before. Like, what if you say, hey, I want it to be 10 hours a week and I want it to generate this much money and I want to use these skills. And what if you get an entire business plan, in a blink of an eye? What if it's that easy? Isn't this an amazing age we live in, where we can generate ideas with and for each other, and we can also tap into the collective intelligence, artificial intelligence, but it's pulling from everybody. What if that's another way you can generate some ideas for how to create that side hustle? What if you share in our community some of the things that you love to do, and what if we brainstorm that with you as well? Not artificial intelligence, but like actual intelligence, creativity, right? What if you, through this community, share the things that you are thinking about as a side hustle? And what if it helps you land your first client? What if you start a side hustle and you offer a product or a service that we can all benefit from, right? What if you reach out to others and ask what they do for a side hustle? And what if you get inspired to follow in their footsteps? So we're here to support you. I hope you'll post some more inside of our community to let us know what you like to do, what you're thinking about, how many hours you want, how much money do you want to make, like all those types of things. The more clarity you have, the easier it is to, it's interesting. It's kind of a paradox, actually. The more clarity you have, the easier it is to brainstorm. The more clarity you have, it seems like you're putting restrictions on it. Like, I want it to look like this. But actually, creativity sometimes is much easier to tap into when we have parameters around, how we want to move. If you have to, I heard this from Jim Carrey. It was a quote that he said. He was talking about something about when he would give a performance. If he had a stage where he could do anything, the lights, the fireworks, the pyrotechnics, the whatever, like you could do anything on the stage. He said, there's a certain level of creativity that goes into what you would do with that. There's no limits. You can do anything. But what he really liked to do, he said, was to go into a performance hall where you can't do this and you can't do this and you can't do this and you can't do that and you can't do this and you can't do that. So what can you do? And sometimes it's in that narrowing of these are the things that you can do, or in your case, these are the things that I want to do. Sometimes that really sparks the ingenious ideas. So what if that is what happens for you? And what if you have a wildly successful and fulfilling side hustle? I can't wait to see what that is. And finally, Kat, thank you for popping in. Kat's great to connect with you as well. Kat says she's working upon becoming an artist as well. So yeah, have you noticed there's a lot of similarities? Kat is working on becoming an artist and mastering additional skill sets. What if those skill sets make me exceptionally unique and sought after? Yes. What if the things that you want to do, what if even if you don't know how to do it right now? What if even if it's just an inkling of an idea? What if your commitment to it and your focus on it is what gives you the tools and the skills and the knowledge and the wisdom? What if you don't wait to become the expert and the master? What if you just start now with what you have, with where you are? And what if by doing that, you gain along the way the tools and the skills and the experience to develop something that is truly uniquely you? And what if that product, that service, that thing that you bring into the world, that uniquely you thing that you bring into the world, what if that is a source of joy and fulfillment and abundance in every possible way? Abundance for you and abundance for all the people that you serve. So I thank you for being part of this What If Up community. You are part of the abundance that is my life. And I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for your participation, for your engagement, for your willingness to share what you're working on, your goals and your dreams. I'm grateful for the ideas that you share with me and with others in the community. I'm grateful for you sharing this community with others, inviting your friends in, telling people about the book, What If It All Goes Right, spreading the word. And I'm grateful because we have, drumroll, our certification program is open. For the first time in like 18 months, it's open. And I'm excited to have our first enrollments coming in for our next cohort for certified leaders. If you are interested in getting certified so you can bring this What If Up process into your coaching, into your facilitation, into your training programs, into your side hustle, then post in the comments, tell me about certification. Just say, Mindy, tell me about certification, and I'll send you a direct message so that you can learn more. All right. Sound good? Thank you so much for joining me. It is always a delight to connect with you. Happy What If Wednesday, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you soon. See ya.